Good evening. This is Mark Buckshon, and welcome to the first video on construction industry marketing. I'm talking to you from my home office. In the background you see some of the books I've been reading over the years. And I've been spending years looking at what works and what doesn't in construction marketing, studying all kinds of ideas, and then testing them out in practice. I'm not in construction, I'm in publishing. But my publishing business serves the construction industry and has for the last 20 years. And to do our work, we need to sell and market ourselves effectively. And over the years, I've made many mistakes and done some things right. We've survived good times and hard times and come back and built a successful multi-city business. So the ideas I'm going to share with you are tested in the real world. They're not theory. The most important underlying message I want to share with you is that you should do what you love doing and make your marketing tied to that. That is, tie the things you love doing with that of the interest of your clients and prospective clients. There's a basic reason for this principle. If you do things that you don't like doing and you're not good at, you ultimately are not going to be successful. You'll burn out with frustration and despair. But if you can take what you enjoy and combine it with your objectives of building business for yourself, you'll enjoy your process, make some money at the same time. Hopefully you're in a business that you've chosen to be in because you like that work or that trade, or you're doing an occupation that gives you satisfaction. If you're not, you should check it changing. But even if you're not in a perfect situation, you can find things in your life that you do find satisfying and gratifying and rewarding, and make those your primary things in life. Let me give you some examples of what I'm getting at from personal experience. I'm not a social person. In fact, I'm very uncomfortable in front of this camera. It doesn't feel right for me to be visible this way. But I enjoy the challenge of communication, journalism, writing, and more recently blogging. And through all my life I've enjoyed that to the extent that I've gone places and experienced things and done things that I wouldn't have dreamed possible with my limited social skills and my difficulties in relating and connecting with people. I'm the type of guy that you could walk up to me and met me 5 minutes before and I won't recognize your face. This is not out of disrespect for you, it's just because my mind doesn't work that way. But I know most of the countries in Africa, and I've been to a few of them. And that may be the story that I should share with you right now. Try to picture a child or a young adult who was afraid of his own shadow, no social skills, no relating abilities, but fascinated by the world. So where do I go when I'm a young adult? I take a plane and I fly to what was then Rhodesia, turning to Zimbabwe. And I lie my way through the Rhodesian immigration authorities because I was told by my peers in journalism that if I went in as a journalist, I'd be put on the next plane out. So I went as a student, then went to the local newspaper and said, can you hire me? Do they need some assistance on the copy desk? And they said, sure. Then went to the immigration department and I told them that I'd been very lucky to be hired as a trainee reporter or journalist. And I got a work permit marked journalist. So I was legally in the country. 1978, a 10-year war coming to an end. Painful, complex issues. But I wasn't under any immediate danger. My friends thought I was doing a daring thing, but I was living a good life. I had servants and friends, drank beer, rode motorcycles, and went to my evening job at the Bolo Chronicle. When I came home, I realized I'd achieved something and I could do things in my life. I'd like to say things are always so simple, but I realized that I had a passion for writing and journalism. So when it came time for me to be in business for myself 20 years ago, it was a logical place for me to do, is to publish newspapers. The story of how I got to be in the construction industry is a little more complicated and we'll cover it in another session, but what I'm trying to say is that if you do what you really love doing, you can carry on doing it through thick and thin. 20 years at this stuff. I've been through some recessions, some hard times, some points where my business almost seemed to be lost. But I was always able to carry on because in my heart I knew it was what I wanted to do. How do you apply this for yourself? Well, my exercise is this. Take 3 or 4 things that you really enjoy doing and write them down on a piece of paper. Maybe you like golfing, maybe you like sports, maybe you like socializing and parties, maybe you like your trade, you really enjoy the craft that you do for your work. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you what it should be. You need to decide that for yourself. And I'm going to say that you should choose, those things should be what you like doing. Then look at that list of 3 or 4 items and then pick one item that you really are really good at doing. It could be your business, maybe something else. That should be the primary focus of your marketing initiative. What you really enjoy and what you're really good at. Now you say, well, how does that connect with marketing? Well, the next stage is to take that piece of information and combine it with another piece of information. Who are the people that most likely would purchase your product or service? If you're a general contractor, which developers, owners, businesses would like to be your clients? If you're a tradesperson, what general contractors and stuff might be likely to deal with you, or how can you apply that knowledge in a retail market to a consumer market? Then, and this is the creative area, take the thing that you love doing and find a way to make that your primary marketing activity. Now, can I tell you in this video right now, not knowing you personally, what that connection would be? Yes, if you call me and work it through, no charge. I'll take 15-20 minutes and I'll bounce it off with you, and I'll probably come up with a suggestion or two that you could apply. Or maybe you can talk to your friends. But usually there's a way you can connect what you love doing with what other people care about. I will give a clue. I would look at associations. That is, not so much the association of your own trade or activity, but the association or groups representing the people that you want to be with. Because associations become a community or group, and they have different parts and activities. They have a newsletter for the writers, they have social functions for the social activities, they've got a sales and marketing group, maybe for those who are really into the actual act of selling. And usually in the context of the association of a client base, you can find a way to make a contribution and do something good for the group as a whole, and something you love doing yourself. And note, this doesn't need to cost much, if any, money. Maybe your dues for the association and a little bit of volunteer time and effort. Certainly for me, that has been my most effective form of marketing. Taking what I love doing and applying it in the context of associations and groups with the people that are my potential clients. So, I write newsletters and articles for the association publications on topics of interest to the members. I practice my craft of journalism in the context of the associations. I encourage my employees to do things, but they do different things. Some do social activities, some serve on different committees. They get a budget and time for that, because they can do things they love doing, which don't necessarily mean to be what I love doing. Which is why in an employee-based organization, you can have many different types of marketing going on at the same time. I hope this idea has been helpful. For further information, you can email me at bucksean@cnrgp.com or phone me at 888-432-3555, extension 224. Feel free to ask questions, gather ideas, and share your own stories. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you next week.